Guru Kripa Kevalam. Namaste and welcome everyone to Satsang today. Sadguru Sri Muji Baba ki Jai. Bhagavan said, true knowledge is not to be found. It is only the false that has to be given up. What is it? Ati sulabham. Super simple. What's the most simple? It's completely empty of any effort, any getting, any losing. Is it? Any position. No experience is it, neither is it not it. It is just that an experience cannot include or cannot consume or cannot contain it. You see? No state can contain it. And yet, all states are it. No concept can grab it. No piece of mental knowledge is true, but neither is it false. Because true and false don't apply to it, to yourself. Right and wrong, correct and incorrect. All of these are just from our intellect. Whatever you can grasp for, you can reach for, is not it. And yet the grasping is only within it. Whatever you can perceive is not it. And yet there is no perception with it which excludes it. Not this way or that way. My father says, be the cow that jumped over the moon. How many steps you have to take to jump over the moon? What is the run-up you'll have to run and then gather the momentum to jump? You see? So it is not it in the grasping. You see? Jumping over the moon means to leap beyond your concepts of right and wrong, all these opposites. Leave your mind behind. Got it? Didn't get it? Yeah. Does it still apply? Got it? Huh? Huh? Didn't get it?
Doesn't apply for them.
Are you certain? You see? And because we have activated this concept of coming to satsang to get it, or the concept that I have been coming to satsang but I have got glimpses of it but not have got it, you see? Then these concepts still can carry some weight. If I ask my children who just come to say hi to me after coming from school, whether after coming to satsang they got it or didn't get it, they'll be like, what? You see? It does not apply. You see? Got it? all ways to it are fraudulent. You see? And yet there is no way which doesn't lead to it. What will you do with that? Is what I'm saying true? No. Is what I'm saying false? No. Are you willing to look beyond this instrument of true and false, of assertion and negation? What is here? Someone sent me a very nice quote from Krishnamurti. Krishnamurti said, the moment you teach a child the name of the bird, the child never sees the bird again. So the moment we add labels on top of perception, we start looking at the photocopy version. Which is also in what is.
Actually, the quote should have been even more sublime than that.
Yeah.
Krishnamurti should have said, not when you label the name of the bird, you never see the bird again. So when that is labeled a bird, then you will never see a bird again. Forget the name of the bird.
Yeah, exactly.
That appears as a bird is a bird.
Yeah.
You should have gone one step further.
Yeah. Even bird is a label.
You should have gone there to that.
Maybe he was implying this, maybe I paraphrased it wrong.
No, Dhruva posted it today.
Possibly.
He paraphrased it, but correct. I think Krishnamurti should have put it even more subtle than that. You have to forgive us for saying that.
Rather, but ironically, this quality is what is, in education system, said to be the more one has this, to quickly label and
Yes.
maneuver, that one is smarter.
Exactly. That's why satsang is a unlearning. You see, satsang is a unlearning of our education, of our knowledge. You see. Or at least unlearning and seeing that it is not a true representation of reality. You see. Not in opposition to it, because many times when we say like that, it can seem like we are in opposition to something. You see. But it isn't opposing or recommending. Not opposing, not proposing. You see? Because even to make the conclusion that that is bad is then to be in the opposites. You see? Even to be in... So this is the nature of the mind I keep talking about. You see? Once you have a proposition X and that proposition X is negated, it can seem like its opposite must always be true then. You see? But I am negating both X and Y and negating itself. You see? So just because A is false doesn't make B true. You see? It's just that no painting, you see, is a true representation of the sunset. So no image, no conclusion. Is it neither yes nor no? Neither true nor false. And this is very simple till you insert a me in it. Till you insert a me, no trouble. Once you insert the me in it, it's just, so now what do I do? So what is he saying? Did I really understand or didn't? You see, then that whole story starts. But in your openness, in your nakedness, it is gone. Yeah. Before now, like before immediate, so this attempt to own it, or the attempt to stand aloof, are both two sides of the same coin, ideas of our limitation. Who is dancing this dance of getting and not getting, of being in a state and losing the state? If you forgot all this education, that this is good, this is bad, this is true, this is false, this was right, this is wrong, I had it, I lost it. It is not original to you. And it is not about these words. If these words are just taken as words, then they are complete nonsense. You see? If there is a point to these words, it is only to back all notions out of you. It is only to back every notion out of you, including the notion of backing itself. To see that even to know one thing is to know too much. Is to meet Shiva. Okay, that's a notion. Forget it. How do you consider yourself to be in time and space? Don't try to leave time and space. Tell me how you Consider yourself to be in time and space.
I have to think about it.
You have to think about it. You see? And what is that? What is the basis of all of this fruitless thinking? It is the I thought. If you decide I have to leave the I thought, then it is not leaving the I thought. You see? If you say now that I see that the trouble is that I have to leave the I thought, that is not it. So something more immediate, more spontaneous. You see? Leave the I thought mean make no reference to I, either absolute or personal. You see? Make no reference to I, either absolute or personal. And who's doing it? Who's making no reference? Nobody. You see, that is unreferenced. We're not making a reference, not even nobody. Because we can have an idea about nobody, it is still a reference. So, it can sound very complicated, but it is simpler than how it sounds. Okay. If you try to solve it like this, you can't. But in actuality, it is simpler. Before you hear the click, if you find yourself taking a position like that or like this, you see, it's not that, even that. It can become very subtle like this, where even these can be positions. I have to hold my attention, or I have to let go of my attention. Nothing. Attention doesn't have to be this way, that way, all ways are. The concept of ways can go. But who's saying? But if you forgot that this body has a nose, for example, if you forgot that the body has a nose, then you could use your hand to confirm, oh, so that is neti neti. Move your attention to its own source and see where it comes from. Not this, not this, not this, like that. Okay? But after you see that the nose is still there, you have to keep holding it. Abide as the nose. Is it? So then abidance must only mean that you don't pick up the notion that I lost my nose. Because we checked again, checked, check. Is it? Now it is clear. So attention plays that function like this, is it? But to be the self does not mean that I have to keep my attention only in the unchanging reality, because if that is how the self wanted to experience itself, the waking state would not come in the first place. So this world is a play of attention, and that's okay. It has nothing to do with myself. You see, if it seems that I forgot who I am, then it is useful to check. But coming to the truth is not a remaining in the withdrawal of attention or something like that. It is attention this way, that way, it doesn't matter. What is here naturally? And you see Guruji, does it look like he's just like, and then he's talking? No, he's very much. Attention is very much with all of this as well, but the self is not forgotten. It doesn't need to be remembered in this way.
But it seems that in my case and in the case of some people, I'm not going to speak for anyone, but we have to keep going back to this. I'm going to speak for myself.
Yeah.
When my attention is on my thoughts, for instance, it seems that the self is veiled.
Self is veiled?
Veiled, yeah. That I'm forgetting myself in this sense.
Not in the appearance of thoughts. Not in the mere appearance of thoughts, it isn't.
In the belief?
Yes. The belief is the veil.
So it's because Guruji doesn't believe
Yes.
in his thoughts
Yes.
that he can...
Yes, it's not... see, if it was... When attention is fully withdrawn, then there is no question of any appearance, including thoughts. You see? So all appearance means that attention is on that. That is what we call appearance anyway. You see? So just by the mere appearance of thoughts, you see, it doesn't matter. You see? It is when I take myself to be what the thought is referring to me as, that is the I thought. That I am that which the thought is representing. You see? The I thought. You see? The thought that I is being represented through this energy construct. You see? That is the whale. You see? And if you take yourself to be that, just like if you take yourself to be anything at this moment, if you give belief to it, then even this identity which you feel like is so strong, you see, you will start to lose that. You see, it won't seem as tangible. You see? You close your eyes and start imagining that you're, you see, a tiger sitting next to the Nile or something like that. You see. If you start believing concepts about it, it is not far from belief. So, it is not in the appearing of these appearances, but in our taking our thoughts to be valid representations of who we are. That's what I mean. When a thought claims to represent I, that is the I thought. See something which you think is true about yourself, that is the I thought. It represents an I which just isn't there. So when we lose that reference, the truth is here. That's why I started Satsang by saying that it is not that the truth has to be found, it is only that the false has to be let go of. What is the false? Primary falsity is in this I thought, the limited notion of self.
I was just thinking that for this I to be, for this belief in the limited I to go away.
Gone. Don't believe me. It is gone. It is only in the picking up of the leaf it can seem like the whole tree came back. You thought it's a harmless leaf, but you tugged at it. In one condition, all the conditions are inherent. It cannot be that we say, okay, yes, all things are perfectly resolved in the unborn, but let me give birth to just this, and I'll still keep the unborn. You see, it doesn't work like that. You see, the I thought is there. It can hang on with this tiny sliver of identification with the notion. But the problem is not as hard as it may seem, because you see, from the level of the mind it is unsolvable, but for you it is done. See? So which way will you want to go? Will you try to solve it like an equation, figure it out? That is impossible. You see? Will you wait till you have the right perception of something, the experience? That will not last. You see? What is beyond these experiences and concepts? So you ask yourself, what are you waiting for? Is it an experience or concept? Because I can go hoarse saying it's not experience or concept, but we can keep saying one day I'll have an experience of that, not experience or concept. You see, like, so what is it you're waiting for if you're waiting? Waiting or done? Or neither?
To be able to notice when the thought suggests a concept of an I.
Yeah.
It's only after some actions take place from that identity that in retrospect I think, oh, I was caught in identity. So it seems I'm growing an idea that I would like to notice when I am caught up in I.
You don't have to notice at all. You will start to suffer fairly quickly. You see?
As I said it was a big idea.
The alarm clock is built into the situation already, so you don't even have to this thing. It is to be in denial of the alarm ringing. You see, that we have to stop in a way. You see? When the poking comes of the limited identity, when we try to Advaita it away by saying I am just a self, use more notions to get rid of some notions which are bothering us. You see, that is to be in some sort of Advaita denial or something like that. You see? So you don't have to do anything to notice when individuality is picked up. The poking starts almost instantly. You see? It is then to say, no, whatever notion you might use. You see? Even the very popular, like new Advaita concepts. You see? And I'm not going to outline because then it sounds like I'm taking a dig at someone or something like that. You see, if you're using a concept as a balm for another notion, another concept, you see, then you're just building a house of concept. You see? It is not that. If there is a concept which you're using which removes everything, that is fine. That is the only one that you can use. But if you're just saying, it's okay, I'm suffering, but it's okay. So you don't have to do that activity that is inherent in this system. So then that doership is also gone.
So you function in this world without an identity
Yes.
and call yourself this body, this mind all the time?
No. The first part, yes. But the second part can be anything. You see? It can be right from Bhagwan calling himself Bhagwan, or Yogi Ram Surat Kumar calling himself this beggar. That doesn't matter.
So you stay apart from the identity. You have somebody else as you and you're apart. Like Yogi Ram Surat.
There is no, that is just like the way to communicate, if you're talking about that. You see? How do we communicate about the activities of this particular body? Some can continue to call it me, you see, some can call it the name of the body, some can call it some other term. That doesn't really matter. It's just a label for this one, no? It is seen that it is not me. You see? And yet if you say, okay, who in this room is wearing a blue shirt? You see? You know, saying the not me is wearing. You see, Ananta is wearing, you see? Or this foolish one or whatever.
So,
Or you can say I am. So there is no problem in saying I am. You see? As long as you see it's just a label for you're using provisionally.
So So this is an abhyasa to get rid of the I identity, to make, say there's a person called me, whatever.
No, don't worry. The only abhyasa you need, the only sadhana you need is just to remain notionless. You see? In that, then how the body is referred to by this mouth is really not so much of a concern. You see? In fact, most of the activities just happen this way anyway. They're not necessarily preempted by thoughts. We just think that I first thought, then I did. Like you're blinking your eyes, you're nodding your head. You didn't think that I'm going to nod my head. It's just happening. This hand keeps moving like that. I'm not thinking. Maybe. So it is those which seem to get us, which have these thoughts either post facto or de facto.
So you can participate in the world fully as a non-person?
But even in that, there's an identity of what you mean by you see? The world, the entire world is you. How are you participating in it? By your very existence, the world is. You see? Now if you say, okay, so how am I to live my life? Then this me comes in posing as the body again. You see? Isn't it? And that's what I'm saying, that all this functioning is happening anyway. We think that there is an idea of individual control or individual doership over it.
Best example is babies,
Yes.
They are not deciding anything or simply happening.
Yes. All the examples are everywhere. You see? These birds, sometimes not even in a group of migratory birds, it's just a bird. Season changes, it knows which direction to fly. Did it have a thought that I'll go west? I'm getting late. Don't be lazy, man. It's like you're looking at a bird who's sitting there. I'm wondering whether the time is right to fly.
They don't even pack.
No, not even pack. Baby is born. I have to think, okay, now, what was the first job I had to do? Cry. Okay, and then how to find milk. Where's the milk? Oh, there it is. It doesn't
How
know
to
these
drink
things.
milk?
Yeah, how does it know? You just feel like so much of it is dependent on this sense of control and knowing. Like Guruji says, the tree is not deciding where to grow its next branch. See, but what I'm saying is beyond like these ideas of deciding and not deciding, doing and not doing. You see? Be that cow. Who jumps over the moon of their intellect. You feel like our concepts, our notions may help us, but actually they just constrict you. Seem to constrict you. What can you say for certain?
Philosophy is dead.
Even that we can't say. Even death. Should I say? What is death? What is the distance between alive and dead?
That's the best part of this, not being the person.
Yeah.
Because when that personality dies, it's okay.
Yeah.
Only when you're invested in it, you
Yes.
feel.
Yes. The distance between any two notions that we might have, as real as they may seem, is just a thought. The difference in life and death is just a notion, a thought. Being and not being is just notional. This is what we were having a bit of dishum about that day, no? I say, what can you say for certain? And you may say that I can say for certain that I exist. Of course, we've said it for a long time, but can you really? And by the way, don't get into that trap of the opposite being true or something. So I'm not saying that you don't exist, but I'm not saying that you do. What if existence itself, like Maharaj said, is ultimately not true? Forget ultimately, it gets in the way, you see. Then you can postpone it saying ultimately not. You see? So it's not true. He's saying it's not true. I am is also not true. Now,
He said I am as the first condition.
he also calls it an infection. You are suffering from I am infection. Guruji says, find that which is before I am. You see, if I am itself was the ultimate, then why would he say before I am? Why would Maharaj say I am infection? Why would Papaji say, who is the one that wakes up? I wake up. Don't touch that I. Why would he say these kind of things?
So though there is a small self and a big self, there's no duality.
Therefore there is no small or big. You see, if there is no duality, means that there is no, the small and big are just representations. You see, but they are not true representations. They never really happen.
But we are invested in the small self.
Exactly. And then we might get invested in the big one. I am saying throw all investment. Like that's why, again, what Bhagavan said is that true knowledge doesn't need to be gotten. You see? It's just that the false has to be dropped. So you drop the small self, then you don't have to pick up the big self. You see?
I am is the sense of existence of the body.
No. There's the sense of existence itself.
Without the body, I am.
Prior to the sense that I am the body is the suffix you can attach, you see. So it forms the basis for all of these suffixes to come. I am the body, I am a woman, I am this way, I am good, I am bad, I am ta. You see, the basis is I am, and the basis of I am itself is I. You see, now if you don't make any reference to I, including a reference of being, if something is true, does it need you to make a reference? No. Does it? Again, I'm saying Bhagavan said only the false has to be dropped. You see, the truth is naturally there, so it doesn't need your assertion of it being true. In fact, our assertion only ends up being the veil. All assertions and negations are the veil. The veil has to be dropped. Allow me to make this foolish assertion. You drop it.
Veil, V-E-I-L?
V-E-I-L. The blue whale, the blue cat, the blue... What? Whale. Whale.
Vase.
Vase. We were not taught difference between W and V. So one less notion to drop.
You say very good, no?
Very.
Yes, you don't feel very good.
I used to. I'm sure. No. Very come naturally.
Very vast.
I think the problem comes because of when you say you drop the veil or you drop all the nations. It looks like that we have to do something.
Yeah. No, it's not that. It's just, that's why.
Came over the rest party.
No, that's a notion. He's looking for support in the room and nobody joined. He said, game over, let's party. Over or no?
No,
No.
no, it's a definition.
Father, what to do when the concept keeps reappearing persistently all day? The concept of me and my relationships. If something keeps reappearing, like if the concept is, why isn't my relationship better? Why does he this, or whatever the concept around the relationship might be, and if you find that it is super persistent, you see, then you can use that as very good fuel for your inquiry. Only for these super persistent ones you can then say, okay, whose relationship is this? Ask yourself with honesty, not as a sadhana, not as an exercise, not to be free from this me, but ask yourself honestly, whose is this? Who is this I that I am speaking of? And then when these concepts come, when will I be free from this? When will I be free from this? Ask yourself, who has to become free? Who is this I? And I usually recommend that if these persistent concepts are there, then, and if inquiry is part of your temperament, if it doesn't feel too alien to you, then don't leave the inquiry till the notion becomes laughable. At least laughable, if not nothing. And this is not, again, not about the constant reappearing of them. What I am reading in your question is that when they appear, you end up believing them. You end up believing the limitation of yourself. You see, only for those. You see? If they are just coming and going, then no trouble.
see that even the laugh comes from the I, which is appearance of I.
Laugh
You
come.
know, when you say, when it becomes laughable,
Yeah.
even that laugh is actually coming from the I, appeared I itself.
In what way? What comes from the I?
The laugh.
The laugh I got, but in what
No,
way?
in the sense that I only is laughing at what is the useless thing.
Oh, that is another notion you're saying.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. It can be like that. Like what you're saying is a notion come, then another notion come. What a useless notion, you see, and like this kind of thing. But sometimes a more spontaneous laughter is there. In fact, Papaji used to say that you can't laugh and think at the same time.
And these persistent where the belief goes, few ones, sometimes, the inquiry sort of doesn't, there's like, I've seen that and leave it, it's like, okay, I don't want to look.
Yeah, those must be looked at in the sense that if we just like use the inquiry again only if we are of that temperament which is attuned to the inquiry. All of these instructions are only for those. You see, if you use the inquiry just for things which okay, I thought I'm a coconut, but who am I really? Of course, I'm not a coconut. You see, it's like why can't people understand me? Huh? Why can't people understand me? Then you look and say, who is this me that people can't understand? And the mind will keep telling you that the problem that has to be solved is on that side. The problem that has to be solved is with the people. I have to explain to them, or the people themselves are bad, or something like that. You see, some conclusion to stop inquiring. And again, all of these recommendations are only for those notions which we end up believing, and they seem like they are so true, so potent, and we don't remain in our notionlessness. You see, so all these notions, especially, we can use as fuel for our inquiries. A belief is something that we take to be true. Something that we take to be true is a belief. And a person is nothing but a bundle of beliefs. So to be rid of this personhood, all our belief system has to be thrown out. And if we have these special beliefs which we hold close to us, you see, then that's where our limited idea of ourselves will hide. As I am saying that in Satsang what is revealed to us is that we don't even realize how much we still know. What do you take to be true? So start with that it is so much. You see? Start with that. Whatever appears, start with that. Just see that that's just a notion, just a thought. Then, what else? What do you take to be true?
I'm thoughts.
That you are having thoughts. You're like Descartes. So forget that.
The concept of unborn and appearance of I.
Yes, forget all this, even concepts of unborn and appearance of I and the veil and everything. What do you take to be true?
That I have to solve something.
That you have to
Solve something.
solve something. Yes. This is especially ludicrous notion, you see, and we are infected with that. You have to figure it out, you have to come to that, you see, to resolve it. Bankai say, all things are perfectly resolved in the unborn, which we have forgotten about.
Not only the spiritual part, Father, even, this situation or this thing,
Yeah.
Constantly that there is something, that I have to solve.
Yes.
But actually, it was never there.
Yes. So, what I'm saying is we step back from these ideas of solving and not solving. You see, so don't fall into either of the opposites. You see? Because if you say, don't have to solve anything, then it's like you can take a new position. You see? And I have to solve something like that. You see, but empty of either these positions, then in any case, this instrument is moving on its own. You see, the power that animates it, you see, is not individual as you think it is. So that is moving, just like the waves are moving by the power of the ocean itself. You see, but it seems like the wave has to do something to move. It has to go this way, that way, high enough, low enough. So these bodies are just the waves on the ocean. When the ocean says that I wave have to do like that, or now I don't have to do that, you see, it is still making itself the doer either way.
Who says that?
The ocean.
The ocean. Only one wave can say anything.
Got it?
Got it.
Now throw it away. If it doesn't bring you to emptiness, then it is still an ocean. Whatever I am saying, if it doesn't bring you to radical openness, radical emptiness, then it is a new construction of the limited identity. You see.
By radical emptiness, you mean not believing the notions that arises or becoming totally notionless, thoughtless?
You do the not believing, I will do the thoughtlessness part for you. Okay? You allow the mind to come and go, I will do the manonasha for you. Deal?
Okay.
So you're saying be like the ocean, but what if waves of creative things come up to solve some problems in the
It's
practical?
fine.
Those are not thoughts.
Yeah, it's absolutely fine. All of this is your creation anyway.
So it's like a creative part of you,
All
but
of
it's
this
not
is,
thoughts.
yes. Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva are your aspects as the self. You see. So the creative part, the preservative part and the destructive part are all aspects of you. And they do play in this way. All this is metaphorical, okay? Don't take it too literally. These are just representations because we have to point at these things at one level, point at them and say, okay, this is creation, this is preserving, this is destruction.
Another thought that seems to be true is there will be some change in the behavior or the approach. It's, all emotions and thoughts.
Yeah.
And it's coming more now that in a way, the idea of going to mobile and expectations there. Not okay. There should be no anger.
I should go like,
Sit straight all the time.
it's you. Like that?
Right.
Yeah, just notion, right? Your face looks like you're losing all references. How is it inside?
Daydreaming.
Daydreaming inside and the
Yeah,
face
I
is
noticed,
before you hear the click. Before you hear the click, the truth is there. You cannot meet it as me. Because the me is after the click. There is no ego now. But once you pick that mask up, then you cannot resolve it. God pretending to be me, wanting to find God is not it. Leave effort behind and leave non-effort also. Leave these notions, these ideas. There is no such thing as doership. The truth that I am pointing to is not subject to the opposites of true and false. If we are still in that game of asserting, negating, forget about it. I know for a while it can seem like this is the only way that we can function, only through our intellect. I'm saying yes, yes, no, no, yes, no, yes, no. But these are nothing for you.
I was recently, this Guruji's words came, felt so alive, too much peace. There's just too much peace.
Yeah.
So come inside but leave your mind out. That's a good one.
Yes.
Indian meditation also, it is Indian meditation.
Yes.
Like chapel.
All that come inside, leave your mind out, too much peace, not this, not that. All that is just floating on the sea of meanings. All those concepts, all of us talking, agreeing, not agreeing,
Yes.
all floats. And even this, as we are saying, is
Yeah.
just And earlier there was this question of, it reminded me of Byron Katie, who you love. And I think you asked about, there are things to be solved and, problems to be figured out. And is it best to just, not look at it and it all resolves? For me, it's about spontaneous action. Because normally when we act out of memory and condition. So every moment is not fresh, as you say. So someone says something and we make a decision. It's always a deductive thing or even an intuitive thing. It always comes as a product of conditioning and baggage and memories and whatever. And I remember her saying, loving what is, so you're completely there, and then the next moment, if you're going to shoot someone, you shoot someone. I think the example she gave was a beautiful example. She said, someone asked, what if, all this stuff is fine, but what if you're walking on the street and some robber comes and grabs your daughter and steals her purse? Then what do? You say, everything is good, the universe is a friendly place. She says, no, spontaneous action. That could be shooting the person, cursing him, or just let it all happen. But it comes out of spontaneously, out of no memory, which is what you keep pointing us to. Every moment is fresh. And even all this is just appearing on the screen of meanings. But it's a good guide for me about spontaneous action, spontaneous solution, without conditioning. If
that is what children do.
right.
They make garata, sometimes they will be playing. That was spontaneous.
All
That
of this
not-
is about returning to that innocence. whether you call it, whether it's Jesus who says only the babes will enter the kingdom of heaven, or it is a Zen master who says come to your beginner mind. It is empty of all of this baggage, all our judgments and interpretations. You see, and it's we might feel like come to our emptiness from interpretations. What is it that is not an interpretation? You see how much we have layered on top of what is. I am is like the primal interpretation. You see, that I exist itself is the primal interpretation.
And that also is not there always. I am.
Exactly. But you don't even have to reason your way out of it.
Yeah.
You see, you don't even have to reason your way out of it, that because it's fine at a certain point. But now, what I'm telling you is more direct, more immediate. You see, initially it is okay. Nitya, Nitya Viveka, find that which is the unchanging and stay with that. That is fine. You see, but now I'm saying that even the idea of existence is just notional. You see, even the idea of existence is just notional. You see, that this implies existence. You see, that something implies existence is just notional. For a baby, there is no being and not being. So leave all these dualities behind. That's Advaita. All these opposites. Cause and effect, time and space, something lead to something, something is happening or not happening, somebody is doing or not doing. Even I exist or don't exist. Even here and there, up and down, good and bad, true and false, everything is just a trap of limitation. You see? All this duality is just limitation. Just and don't even make knowing out of not knowing. Like, don't even know that you don't know, or you do know. You see? Chair or something?
patient you are. How patient you are.
Thank you.
Believe in us, we can get there.
Hmm?
You believe in that, we can get there.
Somebody told me a quote about Osho the other day. Osho said, I don't believe in belief. I don't believe that you will get there. I know that you are it. Is it? So the chances of not getting it are zero. If you have to use some terms about it, it's only a question of only a matter of time in a way. But even that is not true.
But for you, there is no even other, right?
Yeah.
For you, it's not even like these others have to get it. That doesn't even exist for you. There is no other for you who has to get it in this space. No, that
Yeah,
doesn't even
exactly.
occur.
Yes, in reality, yes. But speaking phenomenally, I also have to say that I come in these days and I find all of you very, very open and empty. I don't know how it is outside Satsang hall or something like this. But if I was to speak phenomenally in a worldly way for a moment, I feel like I'm very, very happy with how much of how much you have dropped, how much that you consider to be true and real is now seen through. You've seen through a lot of it.
Thank you for that person.
That's why I said speaking in a worldly way for a moment.
Yesterday, some of us gathered to sing bhajans
Uh-huh.
together, and it was absolutely beautiful.
Nice.
The presence was so strong, so here, and I felt it's really what a sangha is for,
Yes.
just to help each other, and I don't know, maybe it's a notion or whatever, but I really feel that the more we are, we were talking about this with that, the more we gather, the stronger it is,
Yes.
It's beautiful to help each other.
It's very good. Yes. One of the teachers I went to used to say that if you gather together with this openness in your heart, then my presence is always there. It's always there. But you have to see that many times when we gather, we also feel like, okay, let's use this as an opportunity to vent or to share things which, about Sangha or about Master or about the world or about any notional thing. You see? So, anything in the world is double-edged sword. This is the benefit of having a Sangha, that it's so supportive and helpful and things like that. But if it becomes Sangha gossip session or Sangha venting, then it can be this concept. It can be that way also. So as you meet, as you get together, just treat it like satsang. Treat it like satsang instead of because life has so many opportunities for the rest of it, you see. But if you call yourself the Sangha, then the Sangha must feel like when the meeting of Sangha happens, then it's Satsang. It's like Satsang. That's why that is the Sangha to which you can say that Sangam Sharanam Gacchami, that I go in the refuge of the Sangha. You see, that is the Sangha. This is the supportive Sangha that you are talking about. Because you go. It's very nice to meet and sing bhajans, to this thing, but if it becomes about having more and more notions about each other and how we are and how we are not and this kind of things, then that is no longer a Sangha meeting then. Jesus said, where two or more people gather in my name, I am right between them. Sorry, paraphrasing. In fact, a very good Sangha gathering would be if you would play the game, it's just a thought. Rather than meeting and if there are just thoughts going on and everyone saying, yeah, that's true. Yeah. It's helpful, you see. We can be supportive in that way of each other also, of reminding each other of our just notions. This is chapter 26 of the Ribhu Gita. Ribhu. I shall explain the existence, consciousness, supreme bliss, which is ever joy by its own virtue. It is by itself the core of the essence of all the Vedas and the Puranas. There is no difference, duality, or pairs of opposite characters. No difference, and nothing devoid of differences. This alone is Supreme Brahman, afflictionless and attainable by knowledge. This verse itself is potent enough to drive away all ignorance. There is no difference. Duality or pairs of opposites. No difference and nothing devoid of differences. This alone is Supreme Brahman, afflictionless and attainable by knowledge. There is nowhere anything as this alone am I, nothing that is decayless, nothing beyond the beyond. This alone is Supreme Brahman, afflictionless and attainable by knowledge. And this knowledge is what? It is not conceptual knowledge. It is that truth which is apparent. You see, empty of notions. What is this self-knowledge, Atma Jnana? So Jnana Yoga is not to pick up a lot of concepts. It is to empty yourself of notions and see this true knowledge, capital K, which is just apparent and it never comes and goes. There is no outside, no inside, no I, no will, and no form. There is no outside, no inside, no I, no will, or no form. This alone is Supreme Brahman, afflictionless and attainable by knowledge. Pick one of these, and accept it. Any. Just accept that there is no outside or inside. It is enough. Or at least be open to it. So hear it as if you're hearing directions at a train station, not as if you're hearing some metaphysical something. Hear it like you're asking, where should I go? And he's saying, there is no outside and no inside. Is it? There is no truth, none who has renounced, no accounts, no corruption of values. There is no truth, none who has renounced, no accounts, no corruption of values. This alone is Supreme Brahman, afflictionless and attainable by knowledge. There is no quality, no qualified statement, no mental certitude, no japa, no limitation, nothing pervading, and unreal fruits. There is no quality, no qualified statement, no mental certitude, no japa, no limitation, nothing pervading, and unreal fruits. There is no guru, no disciple, nothing fixed, nothing auspicious or inauspicious, nothing uniform, or of different form, no liberation and nothing that binds. There is no guru, no disciple, nothing fixed, nothing auspicious or inauspicious, nothing uniform or of different form, no liberation and nothing that binds. There is no meaning for the word aham or the word that, no senses nor the objects, no doubt, nothing trifling, no certitude nor anything made. There is no meaning for the word aham or the word that, no senses nor the objects, no doubt, nothing trifling, no certitude nor anything made. There is nothing of the form of peace, no non-duality, nothing above nor below, no trait, no sorrowful body, no pleasure, and nothing fickle. There is nothing of the form of peace, no non-duality, nothing above nor below, no trait, no sorrowful body, no pleasure, and nothing fickle. There is no body, no sign, neither cause nor the absence of cause, no sorrow, no conclusion, no I, nothing mysterious, and no transcendental state. There is no body, no sign, neither cause nor the absence of cause, no sorrow, no conclusion, no I, nothing mysterious, and no transcendental state. There is no karma that is accumulated, nor that is yet to be realized, no truth, no you or I, no ignorance, no knowledge, no dunce, and no pandit. There is no karma that is accumulated, nor that is yet to be realized, no truth, no you or I, no ignorance, no knowledge, no dunce, and no pandit. There is no base hell, no conclusion, no liberation, and nothing purifying, no craving, no learning, no I, no knowledge, and no deity. There is no base hell, no conclusion, no liberation, and nothing purifying, no craving, no learning, no I, no knowledge, and no deity. There is no sign of the auspicious or the inauspicious, no death, no life, no satisfaction, nothing enjoyable, no undivided unitary existence, and no non-duality. There is no sign of the auspicious or the inauspicious, no death, no life, no satisfaction, nothing enjoyable, no undivided unitary essence, and no non-duality. There is no will, no world, no wakefulness or sovereignty. There is no will, no world, no wakefulness or sovereignty, not even a trifle of the defect of equality whatever, no delusion of counting the fourth state, not even the trifle of the defect of equality whatever, no delusion of counting the fourth state. There is no all or impure, nothing adorable, no morality, no worship, no world, no plurality, no admixture of other sayings. There is no satsang or lack of satsang, no Brahman, no inquiry, no practice, no speaker, no ablution, and no holy waters. There is no satsang or lack of satsang, no Brahman, no inquiry, no practice, no speaker, no ablution, and no holy waters. There is no merit, nor there is sin. No actions causing defects, nothing related to the self, nothing related to the physical, nothing related to the divine. There is no merit, nor there is sin. No actions causing defects, nothing related to the self, nothing related to the physical, nothing related to the divine. There is no birth or death anywhere, no states of waking, dream and sleep, no realm of the earth or the netherworld, no victory or defeat. There is no birth or death anywhere, no states of waking, dream and sleep, no realm of the earth or the netherworld, no victory or defeat. There is no wretched, no fear, no sensuality, no quick death, nothing unthinkable, no one guilty, nor the delusion of sacred lore. There is no quality such as the serene, or the active, or the excessive dullness. No Shaivism, no Vedanta, no sacred duty, no sacred study, nor the related interest. There is no bondage, nor liberation either, no sentence, no characteristics of identity. There is no bondage nor liberation either, no sentence, no characteristics of identity, no female form, no male form, no condition of being neither male or female, no permanent state. There is no praise, no slander, no hymns, verily no eulogy, nothing worldly, nothing pertaining to the Vedas, no scripture, nor any commandment. There is no drinking, no emaciation, none of this, no joy, no arrogance, or the absence of it, no mood, or the lack of it, no caste nor name, and no form. There is nothing outstanding, nothing base, no prosperity, nor verily the opposite of it, no blemishness or excretion, no individual soul or control of mind. There is no manifestation of peace, nothing attainable, no peace, no restraint of senses and mind, no sport, no part of existence, no transformation, and no defect. There is nothing whatsoever in the least. There is nothing whatsoever in the least. Nothing of the I anywhere. Nothing of what is called Maya. Nothing associated with Maya. No righteousness anywhere in the least. No persecution of the Dharma. There is no youth, no boyhood, no senility, no death, and such no relative, no one unrelated, no friend, and no brother. There is no all, nothing in the least. No Brahma, no Keshava, no Vishnu, no Shiva, no guardians of the 8 cardinal directions, no experiencer of the waking state or of the dream state. There is no experiencer of deep sleep, nor the 4th state, no Brahmana, no Kshatriya, or the highly learned. This is indeed Supreme Brahman, the afflictionless nectar of knowledge. There is nothing that is reborn, nothing to manifest in the future. There is no manifestation of the worldly life. There is no appearance of time, no I. There is no reason for dialogue. There is no above, no inner faculty, no talk of just consciousness, no duality that I am Brahman, no duality that I am just consciousness. There is no above, no inner faculty, no talk of just consciousness, no duality that I am Brahman, no duality that I am just consciousness. There is no sheath of food, nor the sheaths of vital airs or mine, of that or that which is not sheath. No sheath of intellect, no sheath of bliss, as separate. There is nothing of the form of instruction, nothing to be instructed, none to teach here. It is all illusory. There is none to be persecuted, none to persecute. Being illusory, no conclusive knowledge based on the triads, knower, knowable, and knowledge. There is none to measure, no standards of measure, nothing to be measured, no fruits arising. This alone is the Supreme Brahman, the afflictionless nectar of knowledge.
He's demolished everything.
Everything. And if somebody needs a testimony as to the efficacy of the Ribu Gita, it is said here that, is there a book while reading which the reader feels increasingly drawn towards his own self, even if it is the very first spiritual book that he reads? The book which you are holding in your hand is certainly one such. There is no greater testimony to the unique value of Ribu Gita than the fact that Bhagwan Ramana himself told one of his little educated devotees, Sampurnama, it does not matter if you don't understand the book, just go through it. It will be of immense benefit to you. Bhagwan would often say that the recitation of Ribu Gita is as good as Samadhi, and would himself take part in the recitation. So let us read, chant, and be absorbed in his grace. So this is the one that Bhagwan used to always recommend, and chapter 26 especially is what we are just reading is highly recommended.
Funny thing is that whole chapter could be rewritten exactly.
Yeah.
And we could say, there is duality, there is Guru, there is disciple, there is light, there is dark, there is everything that was negated is.
Yes.
And all this is on me, as me, in me.
Yeah.
It is so beautiful, the exact opposite. In fact, it's such a beautiful device.
Yeah.
Because it first takes you, it negates everything. And in it is born the opposite, and then both go also. Yeah. The whole chapter could be the exact opposite, but from a whole different perspective.
Yeah.
No, it's all, everything is there, but it's all in me, as me, floating here.
Yeah. The essence of it is that we break the bounds of it being this or that or both or neither, you see, because this is what I've been calling the box of the intellect, you see, in which there are all of these claims and non-claims, the assertion and the negation. You see? Now that I really feel like showing all of you that is just a tiny little box. You see, it is just a dollhouse in which we think that we actually exist. You see? But actually, it is nothing. You see, it is just. See? So, in a way, why chapter 26 is so good, because it negates all that as spiritual seekers you have built up. You see, we have built up that there is this, there is that, there is this, there's karma, there's Brahman, there's Shiva, there is Krishna, there is this and this and this and this. We come to chapter 26 and say, and in the middle, after saying that this is Supreme Brahman, afflictionless and attainable by knowledge, in the middle he also says there is no Brahman. You see? So just breaking this way or that way construct, this box of the intellect, that it is this or it is not this, or it is both this and that, or it is neither. These are all just the variables of our intellect. But you are much broader than all of this. And I feel grateful for any time that I can utter such words, because to have like anyone open to hearing something like this itself is quite rare in this world. So, because we just feel like either it is this or it is that, or it is both, or it is neither.
And all for a illusory.
They are just on of the hair.
Right.
So, and you can feel like, but what is existence without this? Because we've just rested on all of these interpretations, all of these notions, and can feel like, but if I can't tell up from down, then how will I live? How is this even helping me? But our me is made up of all of this construct. The idea of our individuality is made up of all of these constructs. And in our attempt to grasp at even the words of the Ribu Gita, you will find that he'll assert, he'll negate, he'll say both are true, he'll say both are untrue. You see, this is it. So it gives you no place for the me to hide. It gives you no place for the me to hang from. You see? So it's very, very beautiful satsang. Break out of these boundaries of true and false, of even existence and non-existence. And Papaji used to say, nothing has ever happened. He was not talking about something and nothing in the way we think of it. Because when we hear nothing has ever happened, we feel like everything is dark and empty. Like that. But it is not that. It is not in those opposites of something and nothing. It cannot be described to you in words. So, but the best part is it doesn't have to be. As long as you're willing to let go of your notions of something and nothing, the apparency of this truth will seem so natural. You don't need to be able to describe it. In fact, if you're describing it, mostly it is mixed up with some quality, you see. So, just explore your need to know, your need to get it, to understand. Explore that. What is it? What is it about? You might feel like you get some true jnana, true knowledge out of it. But it is not that. First, admit that you have not understood anything. Become empty of everything that you think you know. In that, don't have to know. Okay, what in that? If I define, you'll make a knowing out of it.
Then look for something in that.
Yeah, then it become like, well, A simple way to look at it is that to say that if you ask Siri or Alexa the meaning of life, says, of course I know, we support that is programmed that way. The meaning of life is, why did the chicken cross the road? You see? So just if you go to the mind and the mind has a good answer, see whether it truly represents some truth or something like that. Thank you all so much for being in Satsang today. Sadguru Shri Muji Baba ki Jai.
Sadguru Shri Ananta-Part ki Jai.
Guru Kripa Kevalam.